don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll.
Welcome back, guys. Happy Friday. It is Friday, May 9th. We got some stuff to talk about today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you. If we could ask a favor, jump in there and hit that like button, hit that thumbs up, whatever you're watching on. We appreciate you, and we can't do it without you. Want to say thank you to all those folks and all the mods that are in here helping us out, keeping the chat clean. And I don't know if Pixie's in here, but we also have a Cuss Jar Pixie that helps out. So I want to say thank you all. Let me get in the comments really quick, see who is in here. Trina's in the house. Hello, Trina. Sugar Bear says, hello, Josh. We got old Uncle Bill in the house. Then Cade, Texas is like, hey, y'all, at work listening behind the wheel. Have a great show. Like button smash. Thank you so much, Cade. Appreciate you, brother. Let's see who else we got in here. Let's go down a little. Deb V jumps in. B Mikey. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. It's finally Friday, guys. It's finally Friday. I want to tell you about a crazy story that just happened. Like we've talked about this before in the past. But I asked Rachel the other day what she wanted for Mother's Day. And I asked in time so me and Kate can go out and pick her out whatever, something close to what she wants or something like that. And she didn't answer. I haven't done any shopping yet. And so she goes, you know what? Today she goes, hey, you know what I want to do? I want to go to a concert. There's a couple country concerts coming up. And we used to go to concerts quite a bit. There's actually a story that's kind of funny. She mentioned we were going to, I think it was either Nickelback or Three Doors Down. We were checking out. It was in Bakersfield. It was like 16, 17 years ago. And I was with a real good friend that's no longer with us. And we had drove down to Bakersfield. And so we were going to have some fun. And I was drinking my ass off like I used to do. And Rachel had a couple in her. And we had found a way to sneak onto the floor. And I was like, just don't make any scene. Don't make any scene. We're just going to get down there. We're going to be on the floor right up front. So we're all going down there. And we get to the bottom. Nobody's even looking at us. The security's not paying attention. And Rachel trips and falls in front of everybody. And I wanted to make sure she's okay, but at the same time, I was like, oh, this probably killed it. Anyways, we made it down there. She reminded me of that this morning. So I thought that was funny. So I started looking at concerts, and we have Luke Bryant coming next Friday. It's not even a stadium event. And then, who was it? Eric Church in November, on November 14th here in Fresno. When I seen the prices of concert tickets, and even the nosebleed, but I was like, and we weren't going to get floor tickets, but I wanted to see how much are the floor tickets. And they were like $490 for floor tickets. And I'm like, and I'm not talking, I mean, it's a pretty big floor. It's the Save Mart Center. And I'm like, holy cow, 2 people go to a concert. That's $1,000 freaking dollars. Like, who in their right mind would pay that much And there's people that pay it. I mean, I'll go to the concert. I think the regular seats were like where you can see the stage, up in the riser area, we're still like 179 a piece. So you're looking at almost $400 for two people to go. I was like, holy heck, man. No wonder I don't go to concerts anymore. It's just crazy. But that's just the way things go, right? We'll blame it on Biden. And just a heads up for those of you that are just popping in, we will be doing our raffle later this afternoon. So we will have a second show this wonderful Friday. I don't know what time. I'm guessing about 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock Pacific. I do have some things I got to take care of that I can't do on the weekend. So I got to run an errand. But if you guys haven't got in yet, the next show, this is what it is. So I want to put the good one up first. This one's killer. So this is a framed picture here. Let's put it upside down. It's in the plastic. It 12 by 15. This is the iconic photos of Donald Trump, two of them. And then in the bottom, it says Donald Trump, 45th and 47th President of the United States of America. Born Donald John Trump, June 14th, 1946 at Queens, New York City. Political party is Republican. And then it says the quote, fight, fight, fight. And then it says Donald Trump, July 13th, 2024. And then we got this pretty cool card game. It's called Trump Cards. Check that out. So what this is, it has cards in there. And it'll have sayings like, I think Angela Merkel, secretary, likes me. I really do. And you have to say, did Trump say that? Or was it fake news? So cool little card game. If you guys want to get in on that action, head over to every $10 donation gets you in for one entry. So if you do $20, that's two entry. $30, that's three entries. And you can donate at Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $ Oreo Army, and givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. And if you use Zelle, head over to our website, The Oreo Express. We have a link. If you do online banking and you want to do a Zelle transfer to do it, our link is on our website. There is a donate now button on our homepage. So we got that out of the way. So last show to really get in on. So if you're going to get in on that, we're going to do it today, this afternoon. We do it live right here in the studio. So check this out. I seen this last night. Let me make sure I didn't miss any more comments.
It's not about ideology.
Why does it keep doing that? I don't want your voice in the background. Pageant CA. Thank you. Texas Bigfoot's in the house now. Texas Real Women 2022's here. And Kimber and those other folks. Again, thank you so much. And thank you for everybody that subscribes on Rumble. It really does help us out. So I guess there was a Fox News contributor or a guest yesterday. And I want you to watch this. And again, it's funny now because she's okay. You can laugh at somebody if they do something that's not funny, but it's funny after they're okay. So that's what this is. Take a look at this. I like the guy's reaction. I like the guy's reaction, to be honest with you. Let me see if I can reset it. I hate when it does this. Let me fix this.
Or it's not about
Oh my goodness. We're just going to get some help here for Cameron. Let me come back to Lydia while we get some help for Cameron here. Lydia,
this guy don't know what to say. Never mind. We're going to take a break.
We're going to go to a break right here. We'll be right back.
Ideology.
Watch this.
It's not about
Oh my goodness. We're just going to get some help.
You know what I haven't done for a long time is usually at the end of the year or near the first year, end of the year, I always go through and would go through the best news bloopers of the year. So like the best news bloopers 2024, and I would get a crack out of that. So he was just like, and I was sitting here thinking, you guys don't know, but like when I'm in the show, things can happen around me and it will frustrate me. And sometimes it throws me off my game. Yesterday, I was so far off my game because I closed the whole porter to all my show that it would take me 2-3 hours to bring back up. And I tried to get through the show. It even messed up my next show because mentally it just does something. But I've had things like literally be in the middle of in the studio and somehow something huge just crashes in here and falls down. And I just keep going and like, I'm sure they heard that big boom. So I don't know what this guy was thinking, but look at him right there. He's looking at her on the ground. And I don't know, but it is Fun Friday, so we start off with that. Check this out. Covered this yesterday, but it's official. The DOJ launches an investigation into New York Attorney General Letitia James for alleged mortgage fraud. Take a look at this.
Fox News confirms that the Justice Department has launched a criminal investigation into New York Attorney General Letitia James over alleged mortgage fraud. James denies the allegations and says she's being targeted by the Trump administration. For more on this, let's bring in Fox News Sunday anchor and chief legal correspondent Shannon Bream. So what's this case about, and does the Justice Department have a case?
So there are allegations that she did not give proper information on loan documents, possible mortgage documents about primary residence, things that would have given her a better loan system to work with. More favorable terms. She and her attorney are completely denying it. They say this is complete revenge. And listen, presumed innocent. That's a great thing about our system. And an investigation is one thing. Do you get to charges? Do you get to a trial? I don't know. But Democrats have been telling us for years, as they did when she brought charges against President Trump, no one's above the law. You got to work through the process in the system, and we'll see how far it goes with her.
So essentially, she's being charged with something very similar to what she charged Donald Trump for, and that was allegedly inflating the value of properties to get a more favorable rate. She is portraying this as more than just an issue about her. Listen to what she said.
This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side, and the one institution that has stood by our side is the courts. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
Come on, y'all, you with me? Who's the we? It's a her.
Well, and a year or two ago, President Trump could have given a very similar speech. They're coming after us. They're trying to divide us. They're trying to do this through the courts. We can count on the courts. So, it sounds very reminiscent of language that he had too, where he said, this is something that has got to proceed through the legal system, and we'll see how it happens. But again, I'm not sure who she was talking to there. I think it was some other attorneys general.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure.
There was a group of people that was there.
But she was saying, like, right, they're coming after me, and this is to divide us, and it's completely political in nature. So a lot of people out there are saying,
get her ass. That's all I'm saying. Like, I want to see her in a little orange jumpsuit crying. And remember, I covered yesterday that they put a little niche in there for New York, that the taxpayers of New York will be covering her legal expenses up to $10 million. Absolute insanity. And I want to see her go down. I do. Like, there are some people that literally, the people that are accusing Trump of weaponizing the government, the DOJ, and all these other FBI, they're the ones that actually weaponized it. And what Trump administration is doing is trying to reel it back in and go after those folks that weaponized it. And so it's just interesting. But check out, not all heroes wear capes. Not all heroes wear capes. She was at an event, and I believe this was this morning. She was at an event with some other communists, and listen to what this guy said.
Yes, my question is for Tush James. will you apologize to President Trump for wasting millions of dollars and the state of New York for a witch trial? And how does it feel to know that you will be imprisoned for mortgage fraud?
Thank you for coming. We want to thank him for coming. We respect all opinions. Everybody knows those allegations are baseless. They're discredited. And so we want to thank him.
They're discredited. How are they discredited? You did much worse than what you accused Trump of doing. So, and I do think that this will lead to some charges. I don't know if it'll lead to jail time. I hope it will. She wanted Trump in jail. She wanted to hurt him as much as she could financially. So, let's see. Now the tables are turned. There's evidence out there. We've covered the evidence. It's crazy. Listen to this. This was an update from Newsmax. Give you a little breakdown on a little bit more.
Wait for that. Lon Austin, thank you for joining us live there.
Did reach out yesterday to Letitia James's spokesperson. And when these allegations first came to light, they did provide a prompt response, alleging there was a weaponization of the justice system, some type of political payback. This time, though, her spokesperson has not responded to our requests for a comment. Back to you.
Well, we'll wait for that. Lon Austin, thank you for joining us live there. We do appreciate that. I want to bring in now Amy Robbins. She is here with us on the set. She is the host of the Amy Robbins Show. Amy, good to see you on set. How are you?
Great to see you guys, too. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So we've covered the civil Trump suit, the trial that went on forever. There were so many, by the way, to keep tally of all the lawfare that we've seen. And now you have this full circle moment of what the AG accused and charged the president, Donald Trump, of. Now she is being indicted by a grand jury, or at least we're seeing subpoenas issued by a grand jury now on the very same charges. What are the odds of that?
It's just irony all around. And I can't help but laugh at where we find ourselves now, because you're sitting here saying this is somebody who ran in 2018 on making promises that she was going to take down Donald Trump. And I don't know if these people just continue to think that they are above the law and that what they do is just never going to get found out. But this should be a really big wake-up call to any other Democrats who have some skeletons in their closet that someone's coming from you and it's going to be found out.
Amen to that. Remember that we covered all her political speeches like, we will get him, we will take him down, we will crush him. It's just amazing that this is politics in the United States these days. I mean, you had so many people running on anti-Trump. They had no policies of their own. They weren't going to make life better for their constituents. They weren't going to lower crime, but they were going to get Trump. Because why? A lot of people believed from the fake news that Trump was this evil Nazi. Just insane. Just insane what we are seeing. I want to pull up something Haha shared with me today. She sent this over to me this morning. Let me pull it up here. Posted it on. So she sent me this today. This is from the Fresno LGBTQPI plus minus divided by group. And it was shared to the Central Valley community. It says, we're giving more folks a chance to apply for an activist camp. The new deadline is May 11th at 11:59 p.m. Spread the word. Let's make this the most powerful camp yet. GSA Activist Camp 2025 will take place on June 22nd through the 25th, 2025 at UC Santa Cruz. Our activist camp is a free 4-day overnight youth-led leadership training camp for trans, queer, two-spirit, Black, Indigenous, youth of color, and allied youth. It's an opportunity for youth leaders to build community with other TQ2S plus youth, develop their leadership skills, and learn how to contribute to the TQ2S plus youth movement. GSA Activist Camp was a pre-pandemic program staple for our California students, and we are excited to invite you to join us for the relaunch. It says trans, feminine, Black, and Two-Spirit youth are highly encouraged to apply. And if you look at it down here, the eligibility is ages 13 to 18. Attending middle school, high school, alternative school, or out of school due to personal circumstances, passionate about fighting for racial and gender justice. What the hell? Okay. First of all, this is sick and disgusting. It's a groomers camp. Could you imagine a 13-year-old going to UC Santa Cruz with a bunch of mentally ill people that don't know which restroom to use so they can groom them, indoctrinate them? And this is what they want. This is why Antifa turned into Trans-Tifa, because the whole almost 90% of the Antifa, which is now Trans-Tifa, are these mentally ill people that have a radical sexual desire to have you worship what they do in their bedroom. And I just thought this was disgusting that this is going on. And again, this has been going on before. Again, this was pre-pandemic. They did this back in 2019, probably 2020, before the pandemic. So this isn't something that law enforcement or Child Protective Services doesn't know about. I just think it's absolutely disgusting. Overnight, we cover on a daily basis just about these LGBTQ activists arrested for child porn, child rape, all this grooming stuff that's going on, even the parents the gay parents that adopt their children. And I'm not talking your average gay person that goes to work and just pays their taxes. Those were the ones we were raised around, where sometimes you didn't know they were gay and they didn't force it down your throat. They didn't say, worship my flag. They wanted what I consider true equality. They just want to go on about their lives, not mess with anybody, not have anybody mess with them. But it's been hijacked, like not even hijacked. It's been exploded into something. You must worship me. You must play my game with me. And it's just incredible what we are seeing right here. What the hell is Two-Spirit? Hold on, I got to find it. I remember we covered this one time. I got to Google Two-Spirit now. I want to put LGBT Two-Spirit. Because we got to learn something today. It's Friday. Two-Spirit is an indigenous North American term often included with the broader LGBTQP plus umbrella, used to describe Native people who embody both male and female spirits, or who hold a gender identity that is distinct from the Western binary of male and female. Well, that's all there is the Western binary of male and female. Wow. So Two-Spirit, huh? Oh, hopefully I did share this on X. If you guys could grab that and send it out, I would appreciate it. I would appreciate you guys sending that out and seeing what kind of awareness we can raise. Let me move this over here, and then I missed one. Let me go right here. Two-Spirit. Don't give me something else to make. Oh, man. So we got some more interesting stuff here. Where was it? I had to pull it down to pull up my tweet, so I'm going to pull it up right here. I thought this was interesting. We've seen this happen at multiple areas, locations. It's becoming more and more common, actually. And what that is it looks like there is a lawsuit. It says UCLA School of Medicine is being sued for racial discrimination after whistleblowers reported that Black and Latino applicants were being given lower standards for admission when compared to white and Asian students. This is the DEI, the wokeness. This is what Democrats call equality. Well, the black and brown person don't have to be as smart. Again, we want it to be based off merit. This is the School of Medicine, right? You want the top, like, I don't care what you look like. I don't care what race you are. If I have cancer, if I have a heart problem, I want the best, brightest person operating on me and give me advice on what to do, right? But not at UCLA School of Medicine, according to this lawsuit. It says, stop the David Medicine, let's see. The lawsuit is to stop the David Geffen School of Medicine at UCLA and various UCLA officials and engaging in intentional discrimination on the basis of race and ethnicity in the admission process. It says, and behind the scenes, its admissions office have reintroduced the international consideration of race. Whistleblowers with firsthand knowledge of Lucero's admission practices have now come forward. They report that under the guise of holistic review, Geffen requires applicants to submit responses that are intended to allow the committee to glean the applicant's race. Now, hopefully this comes out. Again, Trump has worked on ending all DEI. This is not equality. This is not anything like that. What this is again, giving someone privilege, not for their merit or for their smartness, but giving them privilege based just on the color of the skin, the pigments inside their skin. And I'm hoping this leads to something, because a lot of colleges do this. I've told you guys stories forever when my son was in high school and some of his friends were applying for college, and some of the things that they heard and how, because some of them that were white didn't get accepted. I'm like, how did he not get accepted? He's got like a 4.3. And then I answered my own question. I know how he didn't get accepted. Excuse me. So I think I'm done with it, but now I think I got allergies, guys. I have to start eating some of that local honey in my smoothies. So check this out. The Diddy case. A star witness is missing. They can't find one of the female victims, victim number 3, who is central to their case. It says she does not live in New York, where the Combs trial is being held. Prosecutors had mentioned victim's 3 plans to disclose very personal and explosive details concerning abuse she allegedly suffered under Combs. Comey told the judge that even if they were able to reach the unnamed victim, she might not show up. And this is a headline from the Daily Mail. Diddy trial thrown into chaos as key witness goes missing. You know what? I want to tell you right now. If we go through another one of these BS cases where something gets thrown out because people are missing or people end up dead. And again, Diddy's a very powerful person. When you have that kind of money, you're powerful. You can get people to do anything. You can get people to do anything. So, be interesting. Be interesting what's going to happen there. We'll follow up on that next week. I'm sure there'll be more stuff. I just think this is funny. We covered a couple weeks ago the fencing where the girl took a knee and said she wasn't going to fight because she wasn't going to spar against the other person, her opponent, because that opponent was male. And then it caused some outrage. And then people are like, wait a second, she shouldn't have to be sparring up against a male. This was the USA fencing chairman, Damian Letfeld. He was on Capitol Hill being questioned.
Opinion on a lot of things, but not on that. Do you think that men should be allowed in women's locker rooms?
Sir, those regulations are set by tournament
I'm just
organizers.
asking you, yes or no. Do you think men should be allowed in women's locker rooms?
I don't have a personal opinion on
You don't have you have a personal opinion on a lot of things, but not on that.
Sure. I mean, it's a locker room is not really an area where people interact.
So the answer is yes.
I don't
Do you
really
think
have
that men should be allowed to share showers with women in athletic facilities?
I think that showering is a private activity and that it should be private.
And it should be private. There's oftentimes communal showers. Are you okay with men showering with women?
I don't have an opinion on that in the context of USA.
You don't. So. Interesting. That's an astounding thing to not have an opinion on. I think most normal people.
I like Mr. Gill right there. There's some things I've been reading on him. He's starting to be a real firecracker in the Republican conference. So hopefully things change a little bit. All right. So we're going to talk about this a little. I'm hearing, and we're going to get past the fake news and show you guys the truth. I'm hearing that, obviously if a plane crashes, somehow it's Trump's fault. It's because he fired air traffic controllers, which was actually debunked. He didn't fire the air traffic controllers. He's actually have a recruitment out for as many air traffic controllers as they could get because we've had a shortage of them for quite some time under Biden. Well, the left is out there again because it says this was an AP report from this morning. It says air traffic controllers for New Jersey's Newark Airport lost radar again for 90 seconds on Friday, the FAA says. Now, if you guys didn't see the press conference by our Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, he wants to revamp the whole system. He had a press conference yesterday. He showed pictures of the Commodore 64s they're currently using, and I'm being facetious when I say Commodore 64s, but some of the oldest things, like when I seen that, like it took me back to the 70s. The technology we're using. So again, the left is saying, oh, this just happened under Trump and everything else. And we had a lot of problems under Biden. And I want you to see whenever we can place blame on the previous administration don't want to place blame. Elaine Chao, listen to this. This is the former Secretary of Transportation. Listen to what she says right here.
Secretary Duffy did today was very necessary, and it's a very important first step.
Yeah, and the other aspect is getting Congress to approve all of this. I mean, and this didn't seem to be as maybe at the top of minds for everyone. House Republicans, including Sean Duffy, when you were the transportation secretary, voted against upgrades to the air traffic control system. It was a party line vote. They all voted against it. One thing that has happened as we've watched all this play out is a bit of a blame game. And, we've heard some people say it's President Biden's fault and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg's. They were in office for 4 years. Obviously, President Trump and you were there before. I wonder what you would say in terms of just, the state of where it is right now and who's responsible for that.
I think we should put the blame game aside. I mean, these are very important.
Let's put the blame game aside because it falls right on Biden and Democrats.
Issues. The air traffic control system affects the economic vitality, the vibrancy of our economy. It affects productivity. So I think we should just come together as a country and gather the political will to make these changes. And that includes all sorts of changes, like we don't have enough air traffic controllers. It used to be prior to 2016, there were many sources of people who can come in as air traffic controllers. If they were part of the military, if they went to a college and they had training there, but no longer. And so
So that goes on, and I want to show you some things because Sean Duffy, or actually once I get to this, there was a government watchdog group that warned Pete Buttigieg and Biden about the failing air traffic control systems. They knew air traffic control system was stained and still did nothing. Take a look at this. However, FAA has been slow to modernize some of the most critical and at-risk systems. It says FAA, as of May 2024, this was last year, FAA had 17 systems that were especially concerning. The 17 systems range from as 2 years old to as many as 50 years old, are unsustainable and critical to the safety and efficiency of the national airspace. However, the investments intended to modernize or replace these 17 systems are not planned to be completed for at least 6 more years. In some cases, they were not planned to be completed for 10 years. And it says, this is the USGA. This was when Biden was in office. Until FAA takes urgent action to reduce the timeframes to replace critical and at-risk ATC systems, it will continue to rely on a large percentage of unsustainable systems to perform critical functions for the safe air travel. This reliance occurs at a time when air traffic is expected to increase each year. So you've heard Trump talk about it. You heard Trump say we need money from Congress. This is something that needs to be done. You hear Secretary Duffy talk about it. Let me see if I can show you some of that equipment really quick, because again, everybody's saying, "Oh, it's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault that these computer systems went down." It's freaking ridiculous. Let me see. This was him from early.
Stones were a star. Goodness. When Duran Duran was making music, I mean, the systems were developed when Elvis was a star. Rolling Stones were a star. Goodness. When Duran Duran was making music, I mean, we go back to the 60s and 70s. We laid out a lot of the infrastructure. It looks like it was from, remember the movie War Games or Apollo 13? It looks like equipment from the movie sets for those movies. It looks like we got the infrastructure from the Smithsonian, but it's not. It's the equipment that we use in American air traffic control towers. Really, really old. It all has to be brand new, state of the art. And you know, with regard to air traffic controllers, we're 3,000 controllers short. They didn't stand up to school during COVID. Wow. And as controllers were retiring, they didn't have a pipeline of new controllers coming in through the academy. So we've done 2 things. Air traffic controllers who can retire after 25 years of service, we're going to pay them a bonus. We're going to ask them to stay past their retirement date to serve their country. I think we're going to get a lot of controllers to do that. But then we're going to expand the pipeline at our academy in Oklahoma City to get the best and the brightest air traffic controllers through that system and trained up. And then, you know, I think it's going to take us, you know, 1 year to 3 years to get fully staffed. Here's an example. I can take one of the most complicated air systems, say like DC, the Potomac Tracon around Washington, D.C., take a controller from there and move them to New York. It takes them 1 year to get trained up on that airspace. So you just can't move controllers around. They have to be trained in the airspace in which they work. And
so a lot of issues, some of them going back to COVID and shutting down a school for this. Let me see if I have. I want to click on this right here and see if he uploaded those pictures. I think I showed them to you yesterday because it was just criminal that to think that when you fly, this is what they're using. He did a whole press conference too. It was called "America is Building Again." Let's see. No, I don't think we're gonna find him on there unless this guy tweets a whole lot. No, he doesn't. But anyways, we're gonna move on to California, guys. Gavin Newsom has created a new website. Check out what Gavin Newsom said. We just launched a new site to call out, oh, here we go with that famous word of misinformation machine that constantly spews lies about California. Here he goes bragging about the 4th largest economy in the world. Our population continues to grow, and we're done letting the trolls define the Golden State. We're going to go on the offense and fight back. He said that it was MAGA trolls that were spreading misinformation. Where have we heard this before? Do you see a double down effect from COVID? When people like me were telling you, hey, if you get the jab, you can still get COVID, you can still spread it. and they were silencing me, giving me strikes on certain platforms when it all came out to be true. When we said, listen, some of the greatest minds in the world think this came from China, that this was gain of function. Lose your channel. That's misinformation. You don't need to believe the MAGA trolls. Remember all that? Well, that's what he's saying again. And I want to go through some of this stuff. Now, this is a guy who cheated on his wife, or cheated on his wife with his best friend's wife. So this guy's honorable. This guy, like, I would trust anything he said. One of those is now he's saying California did not run out of water while fighting the LA fires. That's interesting. Watch this.
4 months after the Palisades fire, shock has turned to anger. Where was the water needed for the battle of fire? 7 on Your Side investigates. And welcome back. I'm David Ono in for Mark Brown.
I'm Michelle Fisher. Thousands of homes were lost in the Palisades fire. And you heard it came to the point where there was no water coming out of the hydrants to put out the flames.
So why did the hydrants run dry? Eyewitness News reporter Josh Haskell is here now with the latest as 7 on Your Side investigates. Josh?
And David and Michelle, as you know, we've been in the Palisades every week since the fire. And on every visit, I've been approached by residents asking how in a city as expensive to live in as Los Angeles, there was a shortage of water to fight the Palisades fire. Misinformation surrounding the water issue hasn't helped. Here's what we found.
They're out of water. It does feel helpless when you're watching it burn and there's just nothing you can do.
The water was shut down.
So I think you guys get the point. We covered that fire extensively for many hours on live. And how about this one? Where was the other one? I want to get the video. I thought I had it up here. I actually thought that was it. Let me find out. I'm going to find this one. I think this person has it up right here. Remember the lady running up to Gavin Newsom? Let's see. Let's see if it's going to come up here. 13. Oh, it's not there. You know what? Maybe it is part of that video.
4 months after
happened, WP Warren at 8 to Palisades 2024. It would help the 7 gallons boost the Santa
It's
Monica
not on that one, so we'll skip that. But I think you guys remember that we covered that extensively, shared that out. Take a look. You know, the MAGA trolls have been correct at everything we've said. If you want to call me a MAGA troll, we've talked about what Gavin Newsom was doing to gas cost, the prices of gas here in California, how the red tape and the regulations were pushing out oil companies and refineries. We just covered yesterday that the gas in Southern California could top $8 a gallon in 2026. That's the end of next year. Listen to what Gavin had us believe, not us, but you know what I mean. Listen
to account. Big oil is ripping you off. $63 billion, $63 billion. Big oil is ripping you off. $63 billion, $63 billion in profit, just over a 90-day period. This price gouging has to stop, and that's why we introduced a price gouging penalty here in the state of California. It's time to hold big oil to account.
Never having accountability for himself, never having accountability for his party or the policies that actually are raising the cost of our gas. I told you guys yesterday, the Chevron down the street, $5.09 a gallon. $5.09 a gallon here in Central California. It's gotten more and more expensive. And so now Gavin Newsom, trust him, is airing a commercial on Fox News all weekend long. Listen to this commercial.
California is now the fourth largest economy in the world. Innovation, manufacturing, agriculture. And we've done it by reducing trade barriers and delivering for American consumers. But the Trump administration is putting all of that at risk, halting delivery of essential goods through our ports. Today, it's school backpacks. In a few months, it'll be Christmas toys. These tariffs punish families and risk ending America's run as the world's greatest economy. Take it from California. We're the ones.
And it says at the bottom, ad paid for by Newsom for California governor 2022. Let me pull this off here because this is kind of interesting what they do with their money. There it is. There you see it down there on the bottom, and ad paid for by Newsom of California governor 2022. Well, again, the scare tactics. Remember when these same Democrats told you not to have family over during the holidays, not to visit your loved ones? Might be the last time you ever see them. Don't travel out of town. There was even, was it California? I think it was California. You couldn't have more than 6 people in your household for Thanksgiving. These are all things that they still have people wearing masks. And I'm not talking about the Trans-Tifa. I'm talking about people out there that have believed them and think that masks work, think that somehow mask is going to save their lives. I mean, Democrats told you to go get a jab and get your free Krispy Kreme. They didn't tell you to get out, exercise, eat healthier, more fruits and vegetables. Didn't tell you anything like that. Like 99.9% of the people died had 3 or more comorbidities. So it was unhealthy people. Not that you want anybody to die, but it was just interesting how they did that. So trust Gavin Newsom, but this ad is going on throughout the weekend, and I just find it I find it interesting to say the least. Let's talk about those tariffs.
Expanding this market for my beef producers is a game changer. I'm really excited.
This has to do with Trump's trade agreement with the UK yesterday.
Expanding this market for my beef producers is a game changer. I'm really excited about this opportunity, and it really shows you everything that the White House, Trump has been saying about getting our allies, our trading partners to the table to actually work out fair deals that are good for the United States of America. You know, that's what he set out to do. That's exactly what's happening. And I got to tell you, for my district, for Montana, we're really excited about this. And not just on the agricultural side, but having a friendly partner on the steel and aluminum side. I think that's a game changer in terms of national security as well as markets. So we're pretty excited about it, and happy to be in London as this is happening. Expanding.
So a lot of good that's coming out of things.
This market for
mainstream media will not show you any of this pretty much. How about this? The national, you talk about farmers. Oh, Trump's killing farmers. Well, here was a response from the National Corn Growers Association. So if you're in cornfield land, they're excited. It says the National Corn Growers Association today praised a new bilateral trade agreement that increases access for American agricultural products to the United Kingdom, including ethanol. The agreement was announced by President Donald Trump at a morning press conference at the White House. This is great news, said Illinois farmer and NCGA President Kenneth Hartman Jr. We applaud President Trump and his administration for brokering this deal, and we encourage them to continue to include corn ethanol, and corn co-products in future bilateral agreements with other countries. Oh, so it's not the doom and gloom everybody is saying. Let's go over here. Breaking. Lego is investing $366 million in a 2 million square foot Virginia warehouse. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin says, building more toys in the USA. Interesting. You wouldn't think of that, would you? I mean, more business. Now, they've also lied about inflation and prices. You hear all the talking heads on the left say, you elected Trump to lower your prices, and your prices have gone through the roof. And I'm like, what prices have gone through the roof? Gas is down. Prescriptions are down. Groceries are down. And then I found this today. It says per CNBC. This is a CNBC study. So NBC, not your most conservative talking head. Gasoline is down 10%. Tomatoes are down 8%. Lettuce is down 5%. TV, car, and truck rental down 9%. Dishes and flatware down 11%. It says the list goes on. Take a look at this. You won't see this either. You never seen this under Biden. But tomatoes, lettuce, you look at turkey, rice, pasta. Maybe some of it's not down a lot, but it's down some. And then you go over to this one, even more, when Democrats have been telling you that inflation's on the rise. Quite the opposite. Prices are going through the roof. No, prices went through the roof under Biden. Now we're trying to sustain and get those prices down. Dishes and flatware down 10.8. Televisions down 9%. Car and truck rental down 8.7. Sports vehicles, including bicycles, down 7%. Major appliances down 5.9%. Computers down 5.4%. Airline fare is down 5.2%. Floor coverings, infant and toddler apparel, girls apparel, hotel and motels are down 3.7%. Women's dresses, bedroom furniture, sewing machines, fabric, toys, medical equipment, everything's down. Like, I go through that list. These are all things that you would use on a regular daily basis. Footwear, pet food, internet services. But you have the Democrats lying to you and telling you that your prices are going up. Because, again, it's the fear tactic. They've ran completely on lies. Russia, 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 everything else. And I just want to tell you something interesting. Last night I jumped on Amazon to look for a connector because I couldn't find it. We don't have Radio Shacks anymore. I miss the days you could just go into a store and get a weird connector that you smashed in the door or something like that just so you could replace it. So I went to Amazon. I Googled it first, and then I went to Amazon. And there was some stuff that I was looking at about a month ago with Rachel, a little slot car track for Caden. And it says, are you still interested? And I remember the slot car track was $49 because I was like, maybe later, maybe for his birthday, maybe for Christmas, we'll get him that. And I go on there and it says, are you still interested? So I just click it and I look, it's $36. I was like, wow. And then it has all these highlighted things, so many percent off. What was it? 30% off or something like that. 25% off. I can't remember. And then I was like, I'm going to go look at the other slot car tracks. Now, granted, most of these things are made in China. When you go on Amazon, we don't have, if you're my age, you remember, what was it? The slot car tracks that were just awesome, that like could withstand anything. I think it was called Tyco, where you get your cars, put them on a slot car track and just play for hours. That isn't the case. Now they're disposable. They work for a few months and you throw them away unless you spend hundreds of dollars. But I started looking through them and I'm like, they were all like 20% off, 25% off. Even the one that I was showing Caden last month, I was like, now this one's cool. It was like $99. And it was came with extra cars. It was very durable and everything. And we're looking, and I'm looking last night, $74.95. I'm like, wow, what is going on with these kids' toys that are they're dropping 25 to 30%? That's my own observation to what's been going on. Now, speaking of tariffs, earlier today, Trump tweeted this. Says 80% tariff on China seems right, up to Scott Bessent. So he's putting his trust into the person that he has to do the job. And then after that, before that, it said China should open up its market to USA. Would be so good for them. Closed markets don't work anymore. Now, China is struggling. Some of their factories are actually, quite a few of their mass-produced factories are shut down right now. are running on what you would call a skeleton crew. And Scott Bessent is going to be meeting with some folks from China. Where are they going again? I can't. The meeting takes place this weekend. Was it Switzerland? It might be Switzerland. I've read a lot of stuff, so I don't know if that's the story. But so Scott Bessent is now going, and Trump's saying 80% tariffs. It's up to Scott Bessent. He's the one in control. He's the one in charge. He knows what he's doing. So it'll be interesting what happens over this weekend. I don't mind. I'm just going to be honest. I don't mind a struggle for a little while on mass-produced cheap goods from China. We've always been the major superpower of this world. And because of our business, China is getting ready to dominate us in AI and many other sectors of the economy. And they are reliant on us. And Trump has gave them an opportunity to come to the table. They want to play hardball. It will be their people that are hurting. And again, it's communist. It's communist. They don't care if people are starving. That's the difference. That's just like all these leftist groups here. They pretend, they act like they care. They really don't. It's what we've seen. And this isn't just Biden. This has been going on for 30 years, 40 years, where, oh my gosh, look at this. It cost us $1.97 to make this in the United States. We can make it for 21 cents in China. Great business opportunity. And you can't blame businesses either. Businesses have to compete with, we have a global market. It's not just a national market where you're competing, the guy in Washington's competing with the guy in New Jersey. They're both, and I can tell you this from my experience in manufacturing, they're both competing with manufacturers around the world. And that's why there is a lot of imports of these things. Check this out. I thought this was interesting. We covered this. The Trump administration is now working to fill our oil reserves that Biden depleted. He depleted those because we had midterm elections in 2022, and he wanted to drop the gas price down for a small number of weeks. So he depleted our oil reserve. Take a listen to this. This was
Strategic Petroleum Reserve is, Strategic Petroleum Reserve is, it's about 750 million barrels of oil in strategic. This isn't for timing markets or.
Correct.
It's for when a very bad day happens. The world literally runs on oil. If you don't have oil, you're screwed in everything you do. Economics, defense, anything, healthcare. And so we created a strategic petroleum reserve for that very rainy day. And in 2022, coming into those midterm elections, the Democrats saw inflation was a problem. Things weren't going well from them. And they drained nearly half of the strategic petroleum reserve to make those midterm elections go well for them. Sadly, it did help them. In the short term, they flooded the market with oil, reduced the price of oil in the short term, but at the cost of U.S. strategic positioning. And they damaged the facilities in the Strategic Petroleum Reserve by draining them so fast. So I have a few challenges. We have to spend over $100 million to repair the damage of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve that wasn't built for that. And by design, it's much slower to fill it than to drain it.
I mean, think of all the things the previous administration, $100 million, they damaged it because how fast they drained the strategic oil reserve. And now Trump is left with, again, fixing Biden's and the Democrats' mess. That is not only crucial for us if something does happen, but for our national security interests. And man, the things we're finding out now, and again, mainstream media won't talk about these things. Mainstream media. Hey, guys, really quick before we get into our next segment, don't forget, we will be doing our raffle today at the end of our second show. And I don't know how long that show will be because I'll be honest, it's a dead news day. Used to Fridays were always dead news days. You had to do something different. That's why we started Fun Fridays. But under the last 6 months, Fridays have been crazy. So we will be doing the drawing for the raffle. If you guys want to get in, this is what you are going for. It's Trump cards, It has some cards in here. It says the wackiest card game ever. It has some cards in there, and it'll have quotes on them, and you have to get it right, whether Trump said it or whether it was fake news. So it's good little fun down-home game right there. And this right here, this frame picture of Donald Trump. Frame picture of Donald Trump. It has two pictures here. It has a faraway shot and the iconic fight, fight, fight on the bottom. It says Donald Trump, 45th and 47th President of the United States of America. Born Donald John Trump, June 14th, 1946 at Queens, New York City. Political party is Republican. And then in parentheses, it says fight, fight, fight. It says Donald Trump, July 13th, 2024, Butler, Pennsylvania. So we will be picking one winner to get both those shipped out to them. So, and again, we're trying to finish up the bills for the beginning of the month, and then we're going to be moving on to doing some fundraising for going to D.C. on June 14th for the Army Parade down there, celebrating our Army, 250 years. So I want to say thank you to all those. If you want to jump in, you can go to Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army, givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. And if you use Zelle, the online banking, you use online banking and you want to do a Zelle transfer, we have that link on our website. Go to theoreoexpress.com and click the donate now button on the homepage. But we want to say thank you to all of you. So let's move on. Homeland Security tweeted this out. It says, worst of the worst, ICE, New York City has arrested Kevin Broderick Davis, a 47-year-old citizen of Jamaica. Davis' criminal history includes conviction of sexual assault in the first degree. And it says, under the leadership of POTUS and Secretary Newsom, America is not a safe haven for criminal illegal aliens. So we're getting a lot of these each day. Let me show you the next one. Worst of the worst, ICE Atlanta has arrested Edis Alvarenga Quintanilla, a 26-year-old citizen of Honduras. It says he has a criminal history, includes conviction for felony death by motor vehicle and driving while impaired in Cumberland County, North Carolina. Seen a lot of this stuff. These are the people that, this is what I voted for. How about this? Take a look at this, especially the first one.
New at 10, several people are behind bars in Bexar County tonight suspected of human smuggling. Sheriff Javier Salazar says some of them have ties to a criminal organization in Mexico. Others have suspected ties to the Tren de behind bars in Bexar County tonight suspected of human smuggling. Sheriff Javier Salazar says some of them have ties to a criminal organization in Mexico. Others have suspected ties to the Tren de Aragua gang. Investigators say they worked with Border Patrol and Laredo to make the arrests. The sheriff says the ring is suspected of smuggling 5 to 15 people a week into the U.S. New at 10, several people are behind bars in Bexar County tonight suspected of human
of that one woman
smuggling. Sheriff Javier Salazar says some of them.
It was funny. She was yelling at the cameras. Hold on, let me see if it's over here. You know what? We'll pull it up on the next show so I don't waste your guys' time. Check this out. So in Massachusetts, I think this was Worcester, Massachusetts, there was an ICE raid and the community got outraged. Take a look. Take a look at these folks.
Any officers coming to Eureka Street, they're going to come down. Thank you. Please tell that. There is no warrant.
Y seguimos pidiéndole que nos las enseñara y nadie
I wonder who they voted for.
Any officers coming to Eureka Street, they're going to come down to 27 Street tonight.
These people are the ones that want these rapists, murderers, drug dealers, human traffickers, and child rapists. They want them to stay in the country, folks. They are just a disgusting group of people. Again, some of them have believed the media lies. But now I want to show you something. How many remember when we were in, was it Eagle Pass, Texas? Remember when we were in Eagle Pass and we would go to the Border Patrol processing station? Well, it was those big white tents with all those cars going out, buses going in one side, charter buses coming out the other. It was a well-oiled machine. I want to show you a video that Border Patrol released, and that is no more. Take a look at this. Look at that. It is gone, folks. It is gone. Think about, we talked about it all the time. How many of those, like when there was a shift change, 200, 250 cars would come in and out of there. We would record it. It's all live. We still have it on Rumble. And I was like, think about it. 200 employees. Let's just say 200 employees on one shift. Say they're getting $15 an hour. I remember doing and they're getting much more than $15 an hour. But they were traitors to this country. That's right, traitors to this country. Anybody that was doing that and was employed by aiding and abetting an invasion at our southern border. Think about, I'm so happy to see those people out of work. I really am. And I love the fact that Border Patrol is giving us updates on this stuff too, like that, especially the songs. Works out nice. So I think that's it for today's show. Once again, we will be doing the drawing. We will be doing the drawing here in about a couple hours. So make sure your notifications are on. Thank you to everybody who is a Rumble subscriber. Thank you for everybody that has helped us out. We appreciate all the mods in the chat and everybody keeping it clean. We appreciate you. And again, we will see you back here probably around between 2 and 4 o'clock Eastern, guys. Have a great day, and we will see you soon.